to say. I'm going to just start with breathing meditation like we always do and just allow people to show up. I'm going to check on my phone and make sure everything's working. Good morning. Welcome to Creative Companions. We're just breathing in the now. Take some deep breaths wherever you are. Gather your things. Hey, squirrel. I miss you too. Yeah, I couldn't get out there for a minute. We'll talk about that. But here we are. Doing the thing. So, I'm really glad you're here. And we're just taking some deep breaths and getting comfortable in the now and going to be here for a little while. And I'm going to make a painting together. If you want to do that with us, we always use cardboard for our canvas. So you'll need a cardboard. I have all the colors in my palette and brushes and stuff. Hi, Jessica. Good. I'm glad everybody's showing up. We're just starting off, as always, by getting comfortable where we are and gathering our things for group and lengthening our breath while we do. So taking some deep breaths in and out. We're going to be doing a misguided painting today. I'm misguided. I have no idea what we're doing. I don't know. We have a cardboard and all the colors and some brushes and yeah, I just ripped this off of a cardboard box right before we started, so I'm sure you have a cardboard box in your house. There's way too much cardboard in the world. You can go out in the alley and get some cardboard. That's what I do. Scour the alleys for cardboard, everybody. It's 11:01. All is well. So this is Creative Companions, where we're all believing mirrors for one another. We believe in one another's creativity, and we're just here to encourage that and find ways to silence the censor and empower, embolden our creative voice, I reckon is a good way to say it. I'm glad you're here. Take some deep breaths. In a few minutes, we're going to do a meditation together. I call this Reconnect, and also I'm just thinking a lot about nurturing nature. So that's kind of going to be the theme for today's art and today's talk, is nurturing nature. And this painting I have here over my shoulder, which shoulder, everything's backwards to me. This one, I was calling that human nature. That's what I titled it, but I've been calling it Nurture Nature Now. Nurture Nature Now. There you go, 3 N's. The human being is embracing the self, you see? And that's what we're learning to do, is embrace the self and hold us and hold ourselves in our nature and whatever that is, allow us to be, you know? And people have said about this painting, oh, it has a strawberry heart, like a big strawberry, and it does, and I like that. It's juicy. I've been hearing that word a lot. So, you know, it's yeah, like, times are weird and shit's crazy. Hi, Katie May. Good job. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Just take some deep breaths. Breathing in. Hold that for a minute. Breathing out. Once you've gathered yourself and your things that you'll need for today. I have a cup of coffee, I have water, I have a cardboard, I have some acrylic paint, all the colors. I have no clue what we're going to do as far as the painting for today. But I'm really glad you're here, and we're just sitting down together. Once you gather your things, get really comfortable in your spot. Take some deep breaths in and out. What time we got? It's 11:04. We're going to pause here a few moments more before we officially, Sarah Love. Oh, not able to connect. What does that mean? Hi, Mercedes. Everybody can hear me, though? Aloha. Yes, good morning. Wow, so thank you all for showing up. We haven't been here together for a while. The ride gets bumpy. I withdrew. A lot of self-care, a lot of crying. Strange times. Grief is real. Grief is difficult. We're all doing it. But not here now. Here now, we're going to be joyful for no apparent fucking reason. There you go. Just like, here we are. I'm really, 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 really glad you're here. and you're joining me, and grab you a piece of cardboard, your paintbrushes, some water. Um, Start now taking some deep breaths. Ow, wolf's here. You can howl too. Even if you don't know Wolf, give her a howl. She's awesome. We all got that inner solar system wolf that steals our thoughts. And if you don't know about that, you might want to ask me sometime. So, deep breaths. We're going to be joyful for no apparent reason and nurture our nature, which is humanity. Nurture humanity. I have to believe that it begins individually with us. Like to be the change we want to be and raise each other's vibes and be the thing we want to see. Be the thing we want to see. Just be the thing we want to see. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm being the me I want to be and showing up for myself and for you. And I wrote some stuff in my... I'm going to cry again. Like the tears... Take a deep breath with me because the tears are right there, you guys. Like, sometimes they come out the corners and... You can cry joyful tears too, right? So, whew. For our meditation today, I was planning to read to you from my journal. So I guess I'll do that now. So, wherever you are, just be comfortable. Take some deep breaths. Just keep following your breath in and out. You can close your eyes if you want to, if you're comfortable doing so. If not, allow your eyes to be open and simply allow your gaze to fall on something pleasant in the room and continue to breathe in and out. And I'll read to you. So, as we're breathing, lengthening our breath and helping us come more to the now, we're meditating. And we're also practicing the art of listening now. So, in this now, we're listening. 7/3/2022 Sunday. My dad used to call me on Sundays. He stopped doing that a long time ago, and now he died, and he'll never call me again on Sunday. Okay. I keep being so tired. Like now I just got up at 6, and now I can barely keep my eyes open, and it's only 8. I went to Pataskala and saw Katie's band. It was fun. Aubrey, Dan, and Aiden went too. Aiden had a good time. He claps his hands now. He's so cute. Pause. Ooh. White men have ruined the natural world. They're continuing to ruin all that is nature. How do we stop them? How do we nurture nature? Nurturing our human nature. I skipped a line. Back up. How do we nurture nature? Can we start with nurturing our nature? Our human nature? Just let ourselves be. Just let yourself be. Observe yourself being. Just breathing now. Observe yourself being, just breathing now, here now. Just be and breathe. What could you do that would nurture you now? Nurture means care for and encourage the growth and development of. So we're learning to nurture the self as we are. Nurture nature. Once we get used to nurturing the self, we can learn to nurture the nature around us. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we all lived our lives autonomously, nurturing ourselves and our way of being? And then when we meet others, it's with an attitude of being of service to one another and nurturing one another, not competing, not hustling. So tired of the hustle. Everyone's just trying to get their peace, Piece. When the Peace, peace we need, is what we need. Not a piece of the pie. We need the piece that's always available right here, right now. Take a breath. What if instead of trying to grab a piece, you reached for peace in every moment? What if we all collectively chose peace? Imagine that. Go ahead, imagine that. Take a deep breath. So we can have peace in this now and for the rest of these moments that we share here together in Creative Companions, and come to our juicy strawberry heart space now. And learn to come from a place of love. And pull your shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath. If your eyes are closed, let's open them now. And look around. Maybe you can cast your eyes upon something you love in this moment. Self-love, love now. This is why we make these little snippets of art in Creative Companions, and I keep them around my room for moments when it gets dark. This one I see I made when I was 54. I'm 55 now. It says, we wanted to know more. How she saved herself. How did she do it? Go for broke. No, it says go for unbroke. Oh, I like that. Go for unbroke. Not broke. Just badly bent. Right? Phew. So breathe into this now. You know, get into your body real good. Let's get right into the creative process now. And the idea is that as we breathe in and out and keep that breath nice and long as we're learning to do, and keep the hands moving and the ears listening, we're going to make something amazing together, okay? So we have a piece of cardboard. I just grabbed black to start. So grab some black. Let's do it together then. I'm just going to squirt out black and purple and blue. Will you do that too? Black, purple, and blue. Oh, remember, we don't need to be nervous. We just came to have fun. If we get nervous and the sensor starts speaking up and saying negative things that really are not welcome here, we just take a deep breath and get back into the painting. To immerse yourselves more, if you want to paint with your fingers at any time, I highly recommend it. And I may do that after I get this background part. You never know what's coming next, do you? You know, we're just making it up as we go along. So recently, at Sage Valley, I went and painted there with a wonderful group of family, and we had so much fun. And I didn't have enough big brushes, and I've done this before. We use paper towels to do the background. So if you have a big brush, use your big brush. But if you don't, a paper towel works great. And I'm going to use just a tiny bit of water on my paper towel. Maybe I can change my camera angle a little so you can watch this part better. So here's my cardboard. I have my palette here. I got blue and purple and black. I'm going to start with black. I gave that a little more thought than I like to. With black in the middle. And I'm just going to go in a circular motion with the black. And you can just watch right now and then, you know, make some decisions quick. We say do this part with the quickness. We don't want to think about it a lot. We're just covering the canvas. Let me make sure that's not something I need to know. Take a deep breath if you forgot to. Oh, Gina, hi. I'll get back to you later. Purple. So I went with the purple next, and then I'm going to end with the blue on the edge. And I'm not worrying about whether I get that on my hands or not. Hopefully you're wearing something you don't care if it gets paint on, because we just came to have fun, and we can't be worried about whether or not we make a mess. Messes are fun too. So I hope you all got to do some exciting, fun new things this summer already. I did. I had a hard time getting out there for a minute and hesitated, skipped a couple things that I had thought I would do. and stayed home and rested and nested and instead. That works too. A lot of things in progress. So there. So there you have it. With the quickness, I say, just get that cardboard covered. There's mine. Da-da-da-da. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say lately. Things are weird. Stuff's happening. Life is happening. I do see that in times of trouble, you turn back to what you know and remind ourselves that we're trying to find what feels good, and we want to return to things that are good for us in times of trouble and not reach for our addictions and things that just essentially ultimately bring us down. And it is a challenge. I want to look right at the camera and say this. I am still not smoking cigarettes. Over a year. So Vern's got over, how long do you have, Vern? 2 years. So I'll be on 2 years soon. I don't remember, my quit date was January 11th probably. Something like that. So I grabbed this really funky brush that has like really dry, messed up bristles, and I did not put it in the water. Oh, and I added some white paint to my palette. So I'm going to just put white just on the end of these bristles. I'll show you. So, okay, let me change my angle again. So I put it in the white, and then I'm going to dab it on here a couple times because I don't want a whole lot of paint on that brush. See, it's kind of messy. And then I'm going to go just lightly around my edges here. And as you see, since I'm demonstrating for you all, I'm not really even looking at what I'm doing. And, this is a part of our point in Creative Companions, that we try so hard to control ourselves and the creative process. And we get all rigid. Dance around when you're doing your creative thing. Get up and move around. Don't be so hard on yourself or judge you. Ooh, look what happened there. So and again, I'm doing a really light touch here. I'm just experimenting. When I go like this, look what that does. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Look at that movement. Always moving. So that's one thing I had to tell you. Life is bittersweet. And that's what I learn over and over again. It gets real scary sometimes. Don't stay on the dark thoughts, understand that change is inevitable. It's always moving and changing, evolving. So let's put some movement in our artwork there by blurring that. Did you see that? So that's kind of dry brushing, very little water on my brush. Yeah. So we're talking about autonomy and starting with a strong sense of self and how we can be the change that we want to see. I see a path here. So in a lot of that talk too about stay on your path, stay on your path. Things get tough, but your heart's desire knows what's right for you. So stay on that path no matter what. Man, I'm talking to myself. Mirror, mirror. There have been days of late that I've threatened to just give it all up. The hell with it. The hell with it. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not making nothing. I'm not doing it anymore, whatever it is. So, stay on your path. It's like we were talking about. If you haven't seen, what was that movie? Big Fish. Big Fish. You're going to meet some characters, and it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be bittersweet, and it's going to be awful, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be lovely. And you're going to see a cow on a roof, and if you understand what I'm saying, good. If you don't, good. Stay on your path. Stay on your path. So we're talking about autonomy, being your own autonomous one self in this mass of many. So I've made a little path there if you want to follow my lead and make a little path going into that darkness, or maybe coming out of it. Better yet, I like that, coming out of it. So next I'm going to create the character that is coming out of there. I need to click something on here. Remember to keep breathing. I'm going to just pause for a second because I might be going kind of fast. So we're going to just slow down a second, let that dry and process. So yeah, so now we're gonna like think of ourselves as a, not exactly a stick figure, but a container that has just come out of this darkness here. So the path got littler as it went back, and that's where we came from, way back there in the dark. And we're gonna make our container self, and I will show you. I'm just gonna take this small pointy brush, and I'm going to make some light purple paint by mixing some white and purple. And let's put a little more white. Okay, so it's not a big deal. Whatever color. Oh, new paint smock I'm wearing, by the way. I like to wear something that I can just wipe my brush on there. So I have just some light purple on a small brush, and I'm imagining that I am this character that walked out of this darkness down this path, and I'm facing you, I'm coming towards you. So I'm going to put my feet. Let's see, I want to make sure I have room for my whole self. Now just give me a second here. And she is reaching up. Okay, and let's make her a little hourglass shape there. For her torso. Just give me a second here, and I will give time to create your little, oh, I like what's happening. So then we create the opposite on the other side, and another leg. So there we have, well, you can barely see that, right? Just give me a minute. We make it a little lighter for you. Give her a foot here, and then she comes up, and those arms are reaching up. You see? Arms are reaching up. I'm going to fill her in barely by making a V there for her neck. This is probably not making much sense yet. Let's see. Go around. There's her neck. There's her neck. And then we make an oval. Now you see the idea. So you can. She is short and fat. Let me. And then now I'm going to look at it and just perfect that a little bit. I want her really reaching up there. And remember I said she's looking at you, not looking away. And I don't like where I put some purple there in the middle, so I'm going to take some black and just put the background back, cover that up a little bit. So I really want to keep the, ooh, it's almost looking like a keyhole there. I like that. I want to keep the idea of a path going up her middle. You see that? I want to keep that, yeah. And anywhere where you think, oh, my lines, maybe her arms look too wide, you can take the black and just go over that edge and thin that up. Give that a little more shape as it goes. And you've probably heard me say before, I don't think we get just one shot. You can always get a redo and paint over, at least in art. Now maybe you want to give her some hair. You know, I always give myself the braid. So the braid comes down. And you know what would indicate your hair. Do you have curly hair that would be all over your head? Do you have a bald head and want to leave it bald? Do you see that's indicating me now? Hello. So now I'm going to grab just 1 second, I'm going to grab a smaller brush and let's see. I'm going to grab a really small one here. And we're going to put some features on the face. If I can find the right brush. So find the smallest brush you can find. This one's pretty little, but that's not the one I wanted. And that's the point. Sometimes you just got to go with what you got. Right? Okay, so I want to give her some features there. I'm going to use a light blue now, just because I want to do things different than how I've been doing them. Okay, so there she is. I'm going to make two little eyebrows first by making little, I call them rainbows or half moons there for eyebrows. Okay, and then I'm going to make the opposite direction for eyes. It looks weird right now, but she's going to be like she's looking down. Those are her eyelids. Then we just make a little boop of a nose. And then a little, I like to make two dots with a dot under it to start with. With my dots look upside down. I can't explain how the brush just did that. But that kind of looks like a mouth. I like to make two little dots next to each other for the top lip, and then another dot centered under them for the bottom lip. This is just the start of a face. I'm going to rinse my brush now. Are you remembering to breathe? And you know, I'm always thinking about coming from a place of fear or love. Vern was saying, you know, to the animals, humans smell like flowers in fear. Oh man, that's sad. So, and I know how different it is to walk in fear or walk in love. And we're talking about that human nature and nurturing nature, Carrie. That one right there. I'm glad you have that print in your home too. Yeah, and just nurturing that nature and coming from that heart space and from a loving space instead of that fear. And they're feeding that fear everywhere. Take a deep breath. Hand to heart. Both hands. I'm just learning to nurture our nature. I have grabbed the red paint now. So why don't you get you some red? We just made like a spinny universe background to start with on a piece of cardboard, and we're just coming out of the darkness here. Moving forward. Forward. Always forward. It's the only way you can go. You can't go back in time. You can't do it over. But you can do it different next time. You learn things and you go from there. You know? So put your heart in it. My dad used to say, put a little love in it, Kimmy, when I was packing his lunch. It makes his food taste better. Right, Carrie? You put a little love in it. Tastes better. Yes. So, I grabbed some red paint, and I'm going to put a little heart in her. And give her a nice, juicy looking heart. And again, to make a heart, let's see if I can show you this. I do with dots. So, I would put one dot. And then I'll put a dot right touching it. And to make a dot, I just touch that brush to the canvas. You see that two dots together. And then I'm going to put a dot right where they touch, and I'm going to pull down to make the point. La da da. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? Now that I have this red paint on my brush, instead of cleaning it off, I'm going to mix it with a little white and make some pink. Why not? And I'm going to give her some nice little pink cheeks here. Again, a dot. A dot to either side of her nose. Actually, I ended up making kind of like, what would we call these? Well, they're almost heart shapes. Look at that. You see? And I'm going to take a minute and pause and move my legs and take a deep breath. Take some deep breaths with me. We're learning to nurture ourselves and be that shiny thing we know we are, that we want to see, and that we want to show the world. I truly do have to believe that it has to start with each of us individually. You know, to be the change we want to see, to be the love we want to see and be and have. Delicious. Delicious spatula. Boo Radley moments, weird words. Use them. Words cast spells, so be careful what you say. And oftentimes I say things that make no sense to anyone but me. Boo Radley indeed. So I have some metallic gold paint, um, and I have some glitter paint. Like, I really recommend keeping those kinds of things around to jazz it up and snazz it up. I'm just still stretching my legs. Um, we're learning just to be with ourselves in every moment, whatever feelings come up, and how do we stay on our path and still feel all the feels and not just get stuck in the muck. And it starts with the heart and coming from there. Now, you may give your character wings. I'm going to search a minute for the teeny tiny brush I would like to use, because I want to show you some more ways to add features to that face. And, oh, there they are. So if you get these like really tiny pointy brushes made with them clear plastic things on them, don't leave them sit in the water, because they bend and then they stay bent. So I make that mistake. So I'm just trying to remind myself not to do that, because this one already got bent and it's fairly new. But anyway, so this is my teeny tiny itsy bitsy teeny tiny ittle bitty teeny tiny brush. And it comes to a really nice teeny tiny itsy bitsy teeny tiny point when I roll it around in the paint, which I'm going to do now with just white. So let me show you what I mean. And remember, when we're doing our creative projects, and maybe you're not a painter, this is just what you're doing with me now, and maybe you are a musician, and I wonder, do you find yourself rushing through your songs and going too fast? Do you have to remember to slow down when you get excited or when you get nervous? I know for myself as a painter and a photographer, yes, my hands need to be still. And then I get really excited and they get really shaky, and I dance when I paint, and I get really excited about the music and the energy around me, and I have to take deep breaths and slow down. And there are parts of the process that you can only do slowly, right? So with the white brush, with the teeny tiny itty bitty brush, I went in the white paint, and then I find a clean spot on my palette where I can just roll it a little to make a nice point. So I made a nice point with the white paint on the brush, and I'm going to give her like that glowing third eye. So I come between the eyebrows, starting at the nose actually, and just make an oval and fill it in with white. You see? And then I'm going to highlight like a half moon rainbow over the dark lines of blue that were already there, that were her eyebrows. So that gives a highlight over the eyebrows. I'm going to take that same brush and put a little more white on it, do the same thing with the spinny thing again. And I'm going to make a white line straight down her nose. Leave the blue show on either side. We're just adding the highlights to her face because she is a bright, shiny person. We're going to add a highlight right under the blue of her eyelid, between the blue and the pink of her cheek. See her face coming together there? I'm going to make another white line from her nose. From her nose. Oh, I'm trying to show you. From her nose down the side of her cheek to make that line. And then we're going to connect those two lines with a half moon up for her chin. You see? Now I need to accentuate those lips. Don't get worried now. And you could go back and watch this again if it's like confusing. I'm going with the red now for her lips. And I'm going to do a dot and a dot beside it. So there's just two dots there for that top lip. And then the third dot goes between the two at the bottom, touching them. And then I pull to the sides to create this cute little mouth now. You see? She still looks a little funny. Just give her a minute. What else do I need to do to her? So I don't feel like her eyes are coming off right. And maybe we need to make her eyes open because she's coming out of the darkness and yes, slowing. And slowing down. So let's make her eyes open, okay? So we have eyelids, we have cheeks, and we have these dark sockets right now. So what color are your eyes? Let's choose that color. Mine are brown because you're full of poop. That's what my grandparent or somebody used to say to me. Not so. All right, I got some brown here. Let's get on. I have two different browns I'm going to grab. With acrylic paint, you really just need a little tiny dot for what we're doing, especially if we're doing little tiny eyeballs. So let's go with the white first, and we'll paint the whole shape of your eye with white. Imagine that you were, let me pull my glasses down. Imagine that you had your eyes open and you see like the outline shape of your eyes. Let's make that whole shape and fill it in with white. Okay, so you already pretty much have that shape there made by the cheeks and the eyelids. I gotta put my glasses on. Let me come closer to the camera too. Are you taking deep breaths, guys? Okay. Oh, I could put it like that for you. And then you can watch. Okay, so I use that pointy brush again. And I rolled it, which I'm going to do it a little more and make a little less paint on it, a little more pointy. So this is tedious. So I'm going to start where the nose meets that highlight we had. And I'm just going to make, what do we want to call that? An eye shape and a nut shape with the white. See? And then you want to make the same shape on the other eye. So again, I like to start, connect it to that nose highlight that we did. Those all can come together there in the middle. Okay, so now we have the whites of the eyes. Next we want to do the color part. So I'm going to use a dark brown here. And I just dipped this brush in the dark brown. I did not spin it this time. I let it be on there kind of heavy. And I'm going to go straight down into the middle of that white and make a dot. Okay, I don't feel like it's big enough, so I'll make it a little bigger. You see? And then you want to do the same on the other side. I want those dots to be about the same size. But if you ever look really closely at human beings, their eyes are two different sizes. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute and turn this around so I can see what I just did. I'm going to make that brown a little bit bigger. Next we're going to do the black. This is tedious. Take deep breaths, take your time. Mine looks like she's wearing like a parka, like a hood around her. Oh, she's going to have little ears on her hood, I see. Okay, I cleaned my brush real good. Wipe the water off of it. Sometimes if you clean your brush, by the way, and then you get the paint on it right away, and then you go to paint, there will be water stuck up in here somewhere, and it'll come running down and drip. So you want to make sure you squeeze that off really good, because that really sucks when that happens and makes a big mud puddle on your painting. Okay, especially when you're doing something really little like this. So I got black on my brush this time, and I'm going to spin it to make it really pointy. Let me change this angle and show you. Okay, so she's got, I'm going to blow on that a second. Okay. I'm going to outline the shape, the white of the eye, and go ahead and overlap the color part. Mine's brown, yours is whatever color it is. Don't worry about how big that black line is right now. So do you see what I'm sorry about that. You see what I did? See the difference between the two eyes? So you just outline the shape of the eye first with the black. And I hope you have a tiny brush. If not, well, Maybe you have something else to use, or you can leave the eyes closed if this is too tedious for right now. Now you'll see I made the black on that one a lot bigger, and I'll fix that in a minute. But besides the outline of our eyes that would be in black, we have a black dot, the pupil, in the middle of the eye. So you'll also want to make your brush really pointy and make a dot in the center of each eye best you can. There we go. See that? Well, I have just a little bit of black on this brush. I'm going to put a little black to indicate between her lips, which makes her mouth look open more, which is great because she's not afraid to use her voice. And you can kind of take that smile line all the way off the cheek line. I'm just going to continue an outline here now with the black. Ooh, I like that. My white line for her chin there was a little too fat, so I can thin that up with the black. Nice. Nice. I like what the black's adding to that. You see? Time. Oh, cool. I really like working with the small brush. This is looking crazy now, right? Don't give up. You just keep going. Just keep going. So, what do we need to do next here? My character needs some ears. So I'm going to clean my brush, take a deep breath, and drink a coffee here. Okay. Yes, so I like her pink cheeks there. So I'm going to make some more pink paint and use this, continuing with this teeny tiny brush. You can paint with like a Q-tip or a toothpick sometimes if you don't have a teeny tiny brush. I've used the back of the brush, the pointy end, you know, get creative, you know. We don't always have the perfect tools, but we can improvise. So I've made some pink again. What I'm going to do is give her some flesh tone there on her forehead because her forehead is black. I want to make it pink like her cheeks, but I want to keep her eyebrows in that white circle in the middle. So it goes like this, and it goes like this, and it goes like that. There. And then I'm going to fill it in to create her forehead. It's a really dark pink I made, but that's okay. See, she looks a little better now. And then I want to give her ears. I want to make those lighter pink. We'll give her fairy ears, so we're going to make them very pointy. And the ears connect to the face, right, even across from the eye. So you want to start your ear there, and I'm going to make it extremely pointy. Where is it? Can you see that one ear? Yeah, there we go. And then we'll make one, try to make it symmetrical on the other side. And then to make those ears, I have a hard time remembering where the camera is. To make those ears show up more, I'm going to go with the black now and just outline them. You know, and though this is a misguided painting and you're doing this with me, all of our paintings will be unique to us. You know, whatever art you're creating is an expression of self, therefore a self-portrait. I suddenly am going to switch to purple and white and mix up a little light purple. to go around this heart I made. It's going to make it a rainbow heart. And while I have this purple on the brush, I'm going to take this opportunity to go around my braid, give it more color and definition. You know, you can do whatever you want. Make this yours. This is your character, your avatar coming out of the darkness into the light. So we want to give her like nice light rosy cheek or lightness in her eyes. We have not done that yet. So we put the black in her eyes and the pupil. I'm not going to bother trying to go around the edge of the color part with the black because it's so tiny. But what we do want to do is put highlights in the eyes, put the light in the eyes, and you want to make the tiniest little white dot. Bonk. That might be a little large. And if it is, just paint over and do it again. No, that indicates that there's big light. So see the difference now that she has light in her eyes. Now what I was talking about wanting to make a rainbow heart. So I want to go around that heart with each of the colors now. So I have purple there. So now I'm going to do blue. Then I'll do green. So I'm going to have to get out more colors. And while... Okay, so I'm going to do blue now around there. Oh yeah, take some deep breaths. And while I have the blue, I'll also make a hairline. And I always think like, and this will help the ears and stuff show up. I'll show you in a second. Oopsie. And if you go oopsie and oh, I painted over that area and I liked that it was whatever, you can go back. So I just mingled some blue in to indicate hair on the top of her head. And I like what that's doing. I'm also going to take that blue and I'm going to use the dark blue now, not mixed with the white, to outline her features a little better. So I'm going to just kind of trace her outline, and if it's thin it where it needs to be thinned and thicken it where it needs to be thickened, if that makes any sense. Just outlining, see, leaving the white in the middle or the purple, whatever you have there, really trying to define the shape more now. I'm going to let her flow, let that blue flow off. Like, can't stop, won't stop. She's flowing into all of that around her. Came out of the darkness and open, flowing into it. So I'm going to redefine this braid a little more. You can put all the colors in your hair. Make this little avatar character you as beautiful as you want. You know, when we're done with the hour that is set aside for Creative Companions today, does not mean you have to be done with this piece of art. You could come back to it again and again and again for days. You know, it's fun to work on them for a long time sometimes and let them just let them form and transform, if you will. When I'm working on something, I like to keep it where I can see it at all different times of day and different angles, and just keep looking at it, and it'll tell you eventually, you know. So I'm going to take a minute again to stretch my legs. Take some deep breaths. And be here now in the room. And I'm going to add the other colors I need for the rainbow. The rainbow gathering is going on right now in California, 50th annual. I hope everybody's safe and having a great time with their family. You know, lots of families together, different kinds of families right now. And I hope everybody's just safe and feeling peace and some little bit of freedom, you know, sneaking in while you can, folks. Green, yellow, we love all the colors. Black Pumas has a song called Colors. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Katie May's band Rock Holler did it last night. Wonderful, wonderful. Yellow, orange. I already have red. So now I have all the colors of the rainbow on my palette. And I'm going to make my person so beautiful. Here, my little avatar me. Looking really funky weird right now. Look at that. We have to remember that too with the creative process and with ourselves and with our children. We go through awkward phases, or maybe with our days, we go through awkward times of the day where maybe we have a little hitch in our giddy up, and and our eyes look all buggy like hers. We're just learning to breathe through it and let it go. Not hang on to it. We may want to add some positive affirmations to this piece of art as we go. Or I'm just not having much use for words right now. There was a moment there where, so I myself, just going to let the art say what it says without the use of our English language. Perhaps your person has piercings and tattoos. That'll take a minute to paint. We don't have to hurry. So much of our lives we rush through, and when we rushing, we missing it. So that's part of the point here too, is just slow down. So I'm going around with the brush with some black on it now. I like this part where I'm just adding shadows and just very little paint on the brush, putting more features in her little face, and just dragging some paint around and taking my time and looking at it closely. Oh, it's telling me something's action needed. Well, too bad. So adding some features there with the black. And then I'm going to go back to all the colors. And I had left off with blue. And I had traced around her with blue, so now I'm going to go with green. And the green I have is really dark, so I'm going to add some white to it just so it shows up on this black. So if you have a dark green, add some white. Then I'm going to make sure I don't cover up all the blue. I'm going to weave in some green and then go around her whole outline again. Can you see that? On her arm there, I did the one arm with the green. So it has blue and green and purple. Purple was first. And weave that through the braid. And just take your good sweet time. Make sure you're breathing, relaxed. If your legs are going to sleep, move them. So I wonder what everybody's looking forward to this summer. What great things you got going on. Let me know in the comments. Always looking for new places to take my art. Next again for me is Wisteria for Starwood. If you haven't been, I highly recommend. It's a wonderful, wonderful space and a wonderful time. And I'm remembering on this piece of art as I'm like weaving in the different colors. I really like the idea of this path going up inside of her, and I want to remember not to cover it up. That's what I'm trying to say. I want it to connect to that heart there and look like a path. So I want to keep that in mind as I'm not thinking too much about this and just adding color. And remember not to dip your brush in your coffee. I almost did that just now. So yeah, I hope you have some great things that you're looking forward to. I'm going to go with the yellow now, and again, which is going to be really adding a nice highlight here. So you can use some of the colors sparingly and other colors more. Oh, I wanted to go around that heart in the middle too, and I didn't, but I can come back. And look, my character is just expanding and growing and glowing. You can't see it yet because I'm hiding it from you, but I'll show you in a second. Look what a big difference that yellow made. Wow, look at her. So, and also see what, you can add some of that yellow to her face as well. I'm going to go around that highlight that is her third eye there, circle. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a little yellow there on her head. There we go. I'm not done with the yellow yet. And next we'll go with the orange, and then the red. I really enjoy the tediousness of, like, doing the rainbow colors. You know, and there's a line in the song where all just rainbows pretending that we're humans. We're made up of all the colors. So it's fun in our art to, like, make sure we get all the colors or all the elements. Sometimes I like to make sure I have representation of earth, air, fire, and water somewhere within the piece. And I may do that with this too. I'm liking this. So just showing up for your art and for the practice, no matter how you feel. I guess that was my point. And nurturing the self, no matter how you feel. You know, it's going to get yucky sometimes. It's then sometimes it goes the other way too, and you have to remember that and be able to just gracefully stay present in the now and stay on your path. Don't let them get you down, kids. That's the point. Yeah. So I hope everybody's doing really, really well. Best you can. I know you are. Doing the best you can. Giving it all you got. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. So coming right along, I'm going to add orange next. And I keep just accentuating that path, and I want to make sure that it connects to the heart. So I want the heart to look like it's spilling down onto that path or something. I don't know. That's where it all started. Something. All right. So, take some deep breaths. Please, if you would, in the comments, let me know how you're doing and show me a picture of what you made with us today. If I missed a lot of weeks, I'm not able to do every week right now, live feeds, but I do when I can. In the meantime, though, all the videos that we've done together on Creative Companions are on my YouTube channel, which is Art by Kim Keffer. Art by Kim Keffer. Kimkeffer. I also have a Facebook page, Art by Kim Keffer. You can like that too. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And just click that little subscribe button. I guess that does me good. And, you know, in the mean times when things are not feeling so great and maybe you feel like your creative energy needs a boost, you can go there anytime and watch the videos. The Artist Way is on there. Polishing the Mirror. There is playlists. You can watch chapter by chapter. You can paint with my granddaughter and I. There's videos on there of that. So yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And look, it's starting to look like she has wings, which I'm going to go with that. Yeah. So there's mine. I'm going to finish it up and sign my name and date it. You do the same. It's your empowered self, heart forward, coming out of the dark. So cheers. I love you. I'll see you next time. Have a good time, whatever you do.